Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. Today is the 9th of November, 2023, as I record this. But this video is intended for the 1111 portal. You can watch this at any time that you wish to, either in the run-up to it, on the day itself, or after it. The messages and the energy contained within this video will be there for you whenever you wish to dip into them. You can also watch again on repeat if you would like to as well. I have been sitting for a few days with regards to what to do this year for 1111. On my channel, I have consistently shown up at the major portal days, events in our world, and will continue to try to do that always. But 1111 has always been this date in the calendar because of my association and connection with Archangel Metatron, which has sort of been non-negotiable. In the past, I used to run face-to-face workshops. Now I do it online because we can reach more people this way. So you might be returning just for this particular portal, or you might watch me regularly. It really doesn't matter. You're very welcome. But this 1111 feels very different from previous 1111s. I'd like to say a little bit about why I think that is. Some of it has got to do with the numerology of this particular weekend that is coming up. Some of it has to do with the particular circumstances that we have in our world right now, which are escalating and also a repeat of past patterns that we have experienced, which we're still holding within us. So it's as though it's amplified because we feel as though we've been through some of these scripts and stories that are happening, and we're seeing them repeated, and we can feel very helpless, very hopeless. But there is always hope. And there is always help. And so I believe that portals such as this are one opportunity where spirit can come in and say, we've got you. We've got you. We're going to help you to evolve, to upgrade. And you do that in the face of a world and maybe in your towns, your countries, where you can see, as I say, the escalation of problems happening. I am feeling very estranged in many ways from a lot of the spiritual community, and I don't know whether you are, which is that I fail to understand the lack of acknowledgement of what is occurring in our world at the moment. It's as though many are just running up to these portals as cash cows, is what Metatron is saying, as cash cows. Whether it be this, whether it be Lionsgate, whether it be Easter, whether it be any of them, without being able to acknowledge what is occurring in our world and in our personal lives and how difficult it is right now, it's very hard to see why spirit would open up a gateway if there isn't honesty and authenticity within it. So we have to be very authentic. We have to be very honest about what's going on for us, what's going on for the world. And then we take ourselves and a collective piece of the world with us through the gateway. We're not pretending that everything is okay when we know it's not, but we are trying to be the change. And part of being the change is realizing that something needs to change. So, I'm just seeing it everywhere. I've talked about this before and probably will so again, but so many struggling at the moment. We even had a plumber came into our house yesterday, and one of the first things he said, I thought it was very beautiful actually, because he was a man, and he just opened up and said how he was struggling so much at the moment mentally with his mental health. I thought that was a real breakthrough, that actually he was able to even do that. Previous generations wouldn't have been able to do that. So many are struggling, I acknowledge that. And let's bring our sufferings and our challenges and our pains to this gateway. Let's not just push them aside because of the baubles and the bells. But let's be authentic and courageous and have the courage to face not only what is difficult, but very much embrace the light that is here to help us heal that and soothe that and comfort that. Okay. So let's get then into the significance of the numbers of this particular 1111. I don't know whether in previous years I've particularly mentioned Armistice, which of course does fall on 1111 as well, but I am going to this year because it feels very heightened. And I think many people are forgetting maybe the purpose of the 2-minute silence on 1111, which is to remember the beginnings of the peace process in 1918, the ending of the First World War and the start of negotiations towards peace. The fighting stopped on the 11th hour of the 11th day in 1918. It was said to be the war to end all wars. And sorry, that's my brother calling, but bless him, I'll call him later. Really interesting that he's ringing me now as well, because he, like many men I know actually, I'm sure are carrying wounding from the wars. And of course you don't have to be a man to be holding that wounding. You know, you might have been a man even if you're now a woman or whatever. So anybody that has fought in previous wars, there's a lot of wounding coming up. But let's get back to the point. Armistice, the remembrance of the war to end all wars. We want to bring in the energy of peace, as well as remember the suffering of those that have gone before us. So bringing that also into this gateway this year. Right, let's get to the numbers then. Let's get to the numbers. So 11th of the 11th, 2023. If you add up the day and the month and the year, you get to a number 11. So we have 3 11s effectively this particular year. And that, as I say, the power of 3 magnified, it's like, whoa, this is a strong portal. It can be a force for good. And also it can be used to, well, it's going to magnify anything that you throw at it, basically. So if there are uprisings of chaos and aggression and war, it's going to be magnified. So we have to counter that with the opposite energy, which is that of peace. We've really got to hold the energy of love and peace and unity this weekend, as I say, in the face of chaos. So let's look at this 1111 energy then. Metatron is saying this is an 1111 portal like no other. Let's have a look at the cards because I think they illustrate very well what I'm trying to say. So let's first start with the Archangel Metatron deck. And there was some deliberate choosing by me of the energies that I wanted for cards number 11, 22 and 33. So it's not random, but it was channeled information anyway, so it's perfect. Card number 11 is the wake-up call, okay? It's the wake-up call. This is Archangel Metatron sounding the clarion call to wake up. It feels as though, and I'm hearing that many people will be waking up around this 11-11 period that previously have been maybe more asleep or burying their head in the sand to some of the issues that are in our world. So we have the wake-up call, and it says, listen and take note. Now, it's ringing 3 times is what I'm hearing. I have to just weave in a little bit of the Jesus deck now as well, because this thing about the wake-up call sounding 3 times, and this could be personal, this could also be collective, is also tied into this card from the Christ deck, which is Peter, which is about denial and weakness. Peter was the disciple of Christ who denied Christ 3 times. Now, if you're not a Christian, it doesn't matter. If you're not into Christ consciousness, it doesn't matter. But most of us can appreciate the energy of denial. We have probably done it, experienced it. We know what that feels like. So it feels as though there are 3 moments where we deny something. And this could have already happened, of course. Remember, time is not linear. But 3 moments when we're denying something, we're not wanting to look at something, and each time the wake-up call is coming in louder and louder and louder. So that energy is around this weekend, okay? If you're not seeing it within yourself, you might be seeing it in other people. You're certainly going to be seeing it in the collective. The wake-up calls that Archangel Metatron delivers are always loving. They are always designed to get you to where you need to be, to move you from a place of stagnation to a place of greater growth, greater understanding, deeper healing, etc. Okay, so they are necessary, is what he's saying. The wake-up calls are necessary at this time, and even if you feel as though you are awake, whatever awake means, we can be more awake than we previously are. We can deepen to more truths. We can awaken to new aspects of ourself that have laid dormant, or we have deliberately put to sleep. That part of my personality, that part of my psyche, that need that I have doesn't really matter. We'll just put that on the back burner and we'll replace it with something else. Whereas the wake-up call right now is coming in saying, no, it matters, or you need that back for this particular next stage of your spiritual development and evolution. So this gateway feels like one big wake-up call for us in many ways, but it is designed by nature to get us to where we need to be. Anything else to say on the wake-up call, Metatron, before I go on? No, I'm going to move on. The next one, card number 22. And remember, the reason I'm showing you 11, 22 and 33 is because we've got 3 11 energies this weekend. Okay, the 11th month of the 11th day of the 11th month. And then that date also adds up to 11 this year with the 2023 year. So the next 11 and 11 adds to 22. We have Archangel Sandalphon. I love Sandalphon's energy because he brings in such tenderness and softness and grace. And I think many people don't necessarily know, that maybe don't follow my work, that this particular spray that we sell, the Archangel Sandalphon Bronze Earth Star Chakra Spray, is the spray that I recommend to connect you to the Sandalphon energy. Okay, it's the spray. So let me just use it now myself. The promise that Sandalphon makes is that he's always with you. The card says, I am with you now. Jesus always said that as well. I am always with you. Sandalphon, always with you. And he's with you to try to help you take the steps that you need to take once you've had the wake-up call. So once it's happened, whatever that means, whatever is being revealed or disclosed, or you're discovering about yourself or another, what steps do you then need to take as a consequence of that? Sandalphon is the energy to call in at that point in time. He also he encourages you to take baby steps rather than leap and take strides that are maybe too much for you, because the thing with wake-up calls is sometimes there can be a shock aspect to it as well. So when the body is in shock, or you're in shock you've gone through something which is traumatizing, there's a lot of trauma coming up. Remember, again, Armistice, it's remembering the trauma of the past as well, and that trauma is coming up within our own bodies. We're remembering what we may have been, what might have happened in our own family line, what's happened in our countries, etc. when we are traumatized or remembering trauma or it's present, it's very important to be gentle and take soft, small steps, which are more manageable for us. The other thing, though, about this master number 22 is it's to do with building together. It's about community. It's called the master builder number. So I'm being shown, like when we were children and babies, or we've had children and babies, one of the first toys you ever buy a baby, apart from a teddy bear, is those coloured bricks, whether they're plastic or wooden, and the baby learns to just put one brick on top of another brick until eventually maybe it topples over, or they learn how to make it stable. And that's what we're being asked to do right now, just to literally keep putting one foot in front of the other. Again, going back to my plumber that came into the house yesterday, who just said, I'm just really not coping at the moment. Lots of people not feeling as though they can't cope, that they're overwhelmed. It's about just putting one step in front of another, okay, to keep on walking the path, to keep breathing, to keep going, basically. And then to also look around. And what I'm being shown is a woodland scene. And we might feel as though we're very alone at the moment, but look out for the other lights that are in the wood, because what you will discover is that those lights are attached to other people's lanterns, who are also trying to find their way at this time. And if we could only bring the lanterns together, we would illuminate the world. And we might well do that in a minute in a visualization. We'll see. I better make a note of that, otherwise I'm going to forget. Let me just do that before we go on. So it's lanterns, pen won't work now, joining together. Okay. So card number 33, or master number 33, within the Metatron deck, we have the gateway itself. We have the portal. Okay, this is the portal. What does it say? It says it's an invitation. It's a dimensional gateway. I feel not only Metatron very strongly at this time around this portal, I also feel the energy of Ashtar. It feels very galactic as well. But I also feel, as well as us taking our traumas, our pain, our suffering through the gateway with us, because we can't ignore our shadow or our pain anymore. It's part of us. It needs to be healed. It wants to be brought to the water's edge, as it were, for healing. So too, we also bring through the different dimensional aspects of ourself, our galactic self, our angelic self, and absolutely our ancestral line. How many of you are dreaming about your ancestors or sensing your ancestors close at this time? I really am. I had a beautiful dream last night. I was back in Bridlington. Have I got any clients or followers up in Bridlington? I hope I have. It's where my grandmother grew up. It's where I used to visit as a little girl. It's on the northeast coast of England. And I was back there. I was back playing dodgems. I don't know if the dodgems are still there. It used to be on the seafront. It was so realistic, but it was her who had called me back there. Why had she called me back there in my dream? To remember a part of my past, yes, to remember her, but also to remember something that I needed to remember. What was it? It was about fun. It was about get in the dodgem, have a bit of fun, etc. So our ancestors also coming through this dimensional gateway with us. So those are the three cards from the Metatron deck. 11 is the wake-up call. 22 is Archangel Sandalphon himself, also bringing in the energy of music to heal. And that can be any music that you love, any music that lifts your vibration, that puts a smile on your face. Take music with you through this gateway. And indeed, you are the music, you are the rhythm, and you are the rhyme. Take it with you through the gateway. And then 33 is actually the gateway itself. So those are the Metatron cards. Let's now have a look at what the cards are from the Christ Consciousness deck with regards to these 11, for these numbers, 11, 22 and 33. So the first 11, okay, is the energy of Judas. and it says catalyst and soul contract. Now, I've done a much longer video on Judas and betrayal, and how the one who betrays us is often the one who is there to help us the most, because we learn the most, we grow the most. The energy of Judas himself, Jesus would not have been able to have fulfilled his mission without Judas's betrayal. Judas as a master teacher in his own right. There's a whole hour-plus video on that. I will link it below, so I'm not going to repeat it here, but it's just remembering that those people that betray us, the things that happen to us in our life that are difficult, that are challenging, that hurt us, that sometimes make us feel as though we can't go on, these are actually part of the path, is the first thing to say. It's part of the path. Nobody can go through life without anything negative ever happening to them, or somebody saying something that's a little bit cruel, or somebody doing something that's a bit cruel, unless you live in a complete bubble. If you're out there in the 21st century, it's a rough ride, okay? It's not like being in a Dodgem car where you can bump up against people and you don't necessarily get hurt. You get hurt. But the Judas energy is very much there just to remind us that everything that we go through is part of the ride, but also some of these people that come in and play the villains, personally and collectively, are part of duality consciousness, which is the planet that you chose to come to. You didn't choose to come to a planet of unity right now. You chose to come to a planet which had duality consciousness at play. And for that to happen, there has to be the goodies, the baddies, and everything in between. Personally and collectively, that is always true. It's a very tough pill to swallow. I absolutely understand that. And I still struggle with certain people in my life who, I practice forgiveness with regularly, but some days it's harder than others. I get it. But, number 11 is the energy of Judas, catalyst and soul contract. Card number 22, the second 11, 11 and 11 add to 22, is this one. It's pilgrim steps. It says onward. I want to say onwards and upwards. I had a boss that used to say that. Onward and upwards. And in many ways, it's true. Onward and upwards. The pilgrimage. This is the journey through life. It ties in, actually, I'm realising, very beautifully with the Sandalphon message, doesn't it? Which is take the steps. Hadn't realised that. That's absolutely perfect synchronicity between the decks. So the pilgrimage. This 11/11, this weekend, you are offered a pilgrimage back to yourself. You're offered a pilgrimage back to yourself. You're offered a pilgrimage back to the past, maybe. You're offered a pilgrimage to the future. You're offered a pilgrimage to the present, just to sit with yourself, sit with your feelings, sit with who you are now, sit with what you resonate with, sit with what you believe, question it. But it's a pilgrimage. Also being shown a labyrinth. So whether it's a labyrinth that you're walking in your mind, whether it is a labyrinth that you're physically walking in the forest or somewhere else, walk the labyrinth as well. Walk the labyrinth. But the pilgrimage, anybody that's doing a pilgrimage right now, my gosh, if you're ending it on 11/11, that is going to be a powerful moment. Do let me know if you are, or if you're starting a pilgrimage. So maybe meditating on that word pilgrimage. Feel as though there's something else here linked into pilgrimage. Let me just, I'm going to spray this one, which is the tree of life, the pilgrim. That we are the pilgrim. We are all the pilgrims, okay? Metatron's saying. We view pilgrimage as something that is maybe to be done. It's on our bucket list. One day I'm going to do that. I'm going to walk the, I can never remember it, the Camino way, is it? Or any other pilgrimage place. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to any of these particular sites. I'm going to take a pilgrimage there. I'm going to do that. It's on my bucket list. Whereas Metatron is reminding us that with the energy of the tree of life, that we are all pilgrims, that basically come down from spirit. We're pure spirit, and we come down to Malkuth. We come down to planet Earth. We come down from Kether, we work our way down the tree to Malkuth, Earth, and then, of course, it's the journey back. It's this beautiful journey from spirit to Earth, and then from Earth to spirit again. And we can stop at all these different places upon the tree. And there is something to learn at each particular point on the tree. And you're just asked to view your life like that, as a pilgrimage, that we are all pilgrims. If you start to view your life like that, you start to see everything as holy. You start to see everybody that you encounter as holy. Or you start to, if you can't see that, you start to see them as somebody who can teach you something, even if it's that's not how I wish to be. But I bless you for showing me that, because now I know that that's not the path that I wish to take. That's not the vibration that I wish to hold. That's not the response that I wish to give in a particular scenario. Thank you for teaching me that, because in duality, we need the opposite to learn sometimes what to do as well. So the pilgrimage. And, the thing with these steps is, yes, you can sort of see the top of them, but actually they will go on, I'm sure. The path is never ending, and always winding. Okay, so we have 11, Judas, 22, the pilgrimage, 33 within the Christ deck is the teacher card, and it is walk the talk. Walk the talk. And I think this is what I'm really trying to say. When I was saying about the spiritual community earlier, sorry, just let me put the picture of Jesus up there. When I was talking about the spiritual community not wanting to acknowledge what's going on in our world right now, not wanting to go there. And I get it, because it's difficult to talk about. People throw rotten tomatoes at you, but a squashy tomato never hurt anybody. It's about, I don't want to become unpopular, or I don't want to lose a percentage of my audience, so I'm just going to say nothing. But I don't believe that's walking the talk. Not with regards to where we are right now in our world. Put it this way. If Jesus was here right now, and of course he is here right now, because Christ consciousness is about, he is within you, okay? He's within you. But, going back 2,000 years ago, did he ignore any of the issues or the problems of the day and just not want to go there? Of course he didn't. He walked the talk. So this is what I mean. I just think, and I know you get it, because you wouldn't probably be following me if you didn't get it. But we have to be the way showers here. And I'm proud of all of us that do that. Well done. Okay, so those are the cards. Let me put those to one side now. I'd like to weave in some colours and also some symbols. So I've shown you the Sandalphon spray. There are two other sprays that I'd like to tap into, and then we'll get some symbols and codes. And then we will go into a visualization. But the two sprays, which are very, very important right now, and I believe this one actually is important for any particular portal that you might ever go through. This is the Archangel Metatron Rainbow and the Rainbow Ray Upgrade and Expansion Spray. And it does what it says on the tin, basically. It's to do with helping you to upgrade and expand. So when we approach any portal or any full moon or anything of significance to you, then there is an opportunity to evolve, to upgrade. And what I've experienced myself is that often one part of you gets it. So my spiritual self usually always gets it. It sounds a bit egotistical, but I just do. I'm able to get it quite easily. Mentally, I usually get it. Physically, I lag behind big time. So and I'll try and charge ahead, and then, it's like my stomach's playing up, or, I've got a pain in my back, or my knees are hurting, and it's like my body's saying, hold on a minute, we haven't caught up with what you've just got or what you've just downloaded. Can you please remember that you have a physical body? And this physical body is the one that has to carry you through this lifetime. And can you start to respect it a little bit more? And can you start to actually help the system within your body, your chakra system, to just have the time it needs to upgrade as you go through all these portals? So time is also important. So let's just spray this, the rainbow ray. It's effectively, asking for the rainbow to be put through the chakra system, through the nervous system, maybe. Also, I'm hearing right now through the hormone system, through the skeletal system, through the aura. So it's just, it's really lovely. What Metatron's saying is, it's becoming the rainbow. I love that, becoming the rainbow. Because if you become the rainbow, you actually you've done exactly what I just said in terms of walking through the gateway with your wounds and your hurts and, your vulnerabilities, your insecurities, as well as, your most sovereign self, your strengths, your achievements. Because the rainbow is both the sun and the rain, that's how it's made. So it's taking the good times and the bad times. It's honest, it's authentic, it's whole. So bringing the rainbow down through the body feels really beautiful as well. And I think we're going to do that. So let me just write that as well so I don't forget. So that's the rainbow ray. The ancestral healing sprays are given if you're working with your ancestors. And also, end of last video, I was also tuning into inner child stuff as well, coming up this portal. But again, I think that's just the inner child saying, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. In your haste and your speed to evolve and upgrade, don't forget me. I'm still sitting in the corner over there, still stuck in a pattern from age 5 or age 9, or something that happened to me, or something that was said to me, or something that was done to me. And I did say last video that I feel as though the whole world is in a state where, or the planet, put it this way, the planet is very old. Our planet is old. It's been here for a long, long time. It will be here for a long time after we have left. We might revisit it in terms of reincarnation. That's what I believe. But, it's old. It will continue. But it's as though the people that drop into it, the souls that drop into it, are still quite young. And many people are very stuck in this childlike state. And what we're trying to do on our spiritual path is evolve to a more adult setting. But again, not ignoring the child within us, because the child can teach us much. The child is the master teacher in many ways. But it's just becoming parent, adult and child, not just stuck in child mode. Okay, so I'm being shown a gear stick. So a healthy, whole, enlightened human being has got a gear stick, and it knows the mode to go into. It knows the gear to go into. It knows when a childlike energy is needed. It knows when an adult energy is needed. It knows when a more parental energy is needed. So the inner child coming up hugely at the moment. Let's pull a card for the inner child, shall we? And let's see what deck to use. I'm going to pull a tarot card actually for the inner child. I've got a lovely new deck, which is the Lunar Tarot by Jane Wallace. And let's use this, even though I know we're not at full moon or anything, but I still really like this deck. I feel like it's speaking well to me at the moment. So, I've got some cards that I've taken out of it. Let me just go and grab them. Okay. Let's just give it a shuffle so they're in the deck as well. So for our inner child, where is our inner child at the moment, please? Inner child energies, where is the inner child energies at this time before we go through the portal? inner child energies before we go through the portal. We have the Four of Cups, contemplation. And we've got two sixes. We've got the Six of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. Six of Cups is the card of childhood, okay? But we've also got the Six of Pentacles, which is the energy of sharing, and we've got contemplation. So to me, what these are saying is that it's as though our inner child, and this is collective as well, is almost stuck in an energy of, I thought when I came here it was going to be better than this. I thought I signed up to something different. I thought I signed up to a world where we shared. Six of Pentacles is I give and I receive, and it's in equal balance. And I've come to this world and it feels very take. It's very harsh. It's very abrasive. I'm a little bit disappointed in it. So let's see what guidance there is for that. And I feel restricted. Eight of Swords, I feel restricted. I feel as though I can't do what I came here to do. And remember, this is your inner child speaking. I can't do what I came here to do. It's too difficult. I'm stuck. Remember, the Eight of Swords is also a card which says you're not really stuck. It's an illusion that you're stuck. So it's quite a sad energy here, actually. It's quite a sad energy. Okay, let's see what can happen with this 1111 portal. Where does the 1111 portal want to take our inner child, please, Metatron? Where does the 1111 portal wish to take our inner child to, please? Where does the 1111 portal wish to take our inner child to, please? Right, we've got the King of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Now, obviously, it's not wanting to take you to a place of nightmares and anxiety. It's with the King of Cups, which says emotionally balanced. It's wanting to balance out this this state of heightened anxiety and disappointment that the inner child collective has got at the moment. And it is attainable. The Eight of Pentacles, it is attainable. Four of Pentacles, there is stability. Definitely it feels as though what Spirit is saying is that if your inner child is wobbling at the moment, which many people's are, acknowledge how he, she, they are feeling, and then realize that the other side of the gateway lies a cup, a chalice, which you can drink from, which brings greater stability, greater security, okay? The one thing that is missing at the moment in our world for many people's inner child is the energy of safety, that I am safe. And even if you live in a nice house, you're in a nice area, whatever, you are safe effectively, you're not in a war zone or anything, there's still, remember, we are all connected to everybody else. So when we see our brothers and our sisters in a far off land, not safe, being bombed to smithereens, it makes us all feel as though there but for the grace of God go I. That could be me. Okay, I could have incarnated there. I could have been born there. I could be there, I saw a piece of news, I don't know, a few weeks ago. It was a little girl and she'd lost, I think, pretty much her whole family in the bombings in Gaza. And she was about 13, 14, and my heart just went out to her because I'm a mother. And I thought, my goodness, it's how hopeless that must feel, how terrible that must feel. I'm going to read you a poem at this point that segues into this. It's called Mother's Love. It's from the Wee Moon Diary 2023. And don't be triggered by a couple of the lines in it, which refer to potentially what's going on with our climate. It doesn't matter what you believe, whether you believe in that narrative or not. I just want to say that because otherwise I know I'm going to get comments reading this poem out. It's called A Mother's Love. Okay. A Mother's Love. It's by a lady called Tasha Zigerelli. She wrote it in 2020. It says, society steeped in chaos. Can I just remind us before I even read it on, actually, that I'm reading this in the segment about our inner child. So maybe you'd just like to allow your inner child to hear this. Go into where they are. In the UK, there used to be, when I was a kid, a beautiful TV programme called Jack and Ori. Many of you will remember it in the UK. And believe it or not, we used to all tune in to just watch John Craven read us a story from a book. Those seem such innocent days now. Maybe it's still going. But anyway, that's what I'm being shown by Metatron. This poem is for your inner child. Okay, right. Society steeped in chaos. Record temperatures on the Earth's surface, species with uncertain futures, lineages of wisdom keepers disappearing. Smoke and flame engulf the landscape. Yet somehow in your eyes, I see the innocence of humanity. I find all galaxies in your gaze. Absolute purity met with absolute presence. Immaculate wonder and mystery in your skin, a wilderness of tender territory, your angelic honesty. In your presence, my heart lives in a vast expanse of fertile forests. I remember that all will decay again and again, and everyone I love, including us, will die. Yet I know in the deepest parts of me, this love will transcend all fear. You see, the inner child within us is much stronger than we give it credit for. It knows when it comes in that one day it will die, because it's just come in. It's closer to that moment of impact of birth and remembering what was before it incarnated than we are here 50 years on, 70 years on. So you can speak to your inner child in a very honest way, with reassurance, yes, but not, again, going into the Peter energy of just denying that there are issues in our world, because your children know there are. Especially if they're older, they know there are. Let me just have some water. We're going to go into a bit of a meditation now, I think. I'm also going to pull a code, actually. We'll do that first. Have some water with me, if you need to, before we go on. "41 minutes, okay. Right. I'm going to pull a card from the Sacred Geometry Healing Cards by Emily Kisvarder. Let's see. There may very well be a vibration or a number or a frequency or a symbol that we need right now. Asking Metatron to come in and choose us a card from this deck, please, for the 1111 portal, for the people that are watching. Okay, we've got two that have just fallen out. Oh. As I always say, you cannot make this up. I didn't even know this card was in the deck. Look at that. Can everybody read it? It says, acknowledge the inner child. And there is an egg, the cocoon, the safety, what I was just saying. There is the hexahedron, otherwise known as a cube, which is linked into the base chakra. It's linked into foundation. It's linked into safety. And then it looks like that is an octahedron in the middle of the hexahedron. Bear with me. The octahedron is the heart chakra. It's also the energy of air, or the element of air, freedom. So that could be a lovely just thing for you to visualize yourself. I don't need to take you through that. But you could imagine that your inner child, that you are surrounded by this beautiful golden egg. Gold is linked into protection. and that within you, wherever you imagine your inner child, I always imagine it within my heart, but it might be somewhere different for you, but within my heart, there is a chamber where she still is, okay? And if I wish to, I can go there and I can talk to her. And right now, because of the way the world is, she is needing that energy of safety, which the cube gives her. And she sits within that. And actually, you can't even see her because all you can see is her heart. All you can maybe see is your heart. That's very beautiful. The other card that came out is the tetrahedron, which is take action, which is the solar plexus energy. Solar plexus, our power center. So we've got two chakras being highlighted here by the platonic solids. One is the solar plexus, our power center. It's as though the battery is needing a big boost. And the other chakra is the heart. And it's particularly linked into the inner child that's gone, feels as though she's gone further into her chamber, maybe hiding a little bit just because of the state of the world. I mean, it might be different for yours, but, you tune into your own. Let's just use the Rose Inner Child spray at this point. Okay, so beautiful colour, Rose Inner Child. There we go. Love the colour of that. Just surround your inner child with that. Allow that colour to flow into your inner child's heart. It's the rose. And I've just realised that I've got the roses here. Funny, I tried to do this video yesterday, but it just wasn't flowing very well. So I thought, no, I'm going to redo it today. And I even changed the flowers. And the other flowers that I had, which are now downstairs in my dining room, were still lovely, but they were sunflowers. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sunflowers. We love them, don't we? But for some reason, the roses just wanted to be here. It was like, no, it needs to be the roses. And I realised, of course, Rose Inner Child. Okay, let's spray the Rose Inner Child. And I've got, as soon as I do that, I have all the ancestors coming in, just reminding you how much they love you. I'm seeing the fact that when you were born, the people that crowded round the cot or the cradle or the hospital bed, I'm very appreciative of the fact that some of you maybe didn't have a very happy childhood, didn't have parents that were loving and cooing and, watching every little bit of development. I know not everybody's lucky enough to have that. But again, remember the whole Judas energy, which is that what we choose and what we incarnate and the path we take is because we wanted those particular lessons. That's made you stronger in some ways. But anyway, I'm really seeing for the majority of you, ancestors crowding around the moment of birth. And of course, I'm being reminded by the ancestors that even if the parents weren't there, cooing and saying, what a lovely baby, and having love in their heart for your arrival, the ancestors were. The ancestors were cheering you on when you got here. And it was like, yes, she's made it. I went to an art museum, a few days ago, and there's a lovely painting. I can't tell you who the painter is. It's maybe it might be a pre-Raphaelite painting. It's of this baby that looks like it's just been born. The mother's holding it, and then there's a staircase behind, and there are all these angels, and they're just gathering round. They're looking literally like, oh, look at the little baby that's just been born, and they're just full of excitement and a flood of joy and love for this soul that has made it, that is here. And so always remember that as well, because they're not just there, ancestors and spirit, when you're born, they're with you through your whole life. And I feel as though some of us need to remember that, particularly when we're struggling. Okay. All right. Let's then flow into whatever we're meant to flow into in terms of meditation. And I've already lost my page where I wrote down what I was going to do. That's a good start, isn't it? But it's all trust and faith at the end of the day. So I'll just go with whatever is given to me. I'm going to put that down. All right. Let's firstly just focus on the light. And take 3 breaths of that candle light. 3 breaths of the light. Breathing it in and breathing it out. Breathing it in and breathing it out. Taking the light in. Reminding yourself that light is the most powerful force on this planet. And that you also are that light. I'm going to ring the bells 11 times. So I'm going to do it softly, so hopefully it doesn't make anybody that's wearing headphones jump out of their seat. But we're going to ring the bells 11 times. Excuse me. Put your feet down on the floor, ground yourself. We're going to start with 1 minute silence, and we're going to remember our ancestors. We are going to remember those that have suffered as a consequence of war. We are going to remember those who are still suffering as a consequence of war. And above all else, we are going to focus on the energy of peace. Peace, perfect peace. Okay, so we'll start from now, 1 minute, and then I will take us through whatever we're meant to be taken through. Eleven. 1 minute is all it will take to reset this planet to peace. 1 minute to reset minds and hearts to the vibration of love and peace. If all were to stop for 1 minute to focus on the energy of peace and love, we would break through the glass ceiling and change this planet. You are asked this 11:11 to do your part in getting us there. If not in entirety right now for the world, in entirety for you, yourself, your family, your world. To bring the energy of peace into your world. to bring the energy of peace into your mind, to bring the energy of peace into your heart, to bring the energy of peace into your aura, to bring the energy of peace and seed it wherever you walk, however you talk, whatever you do, wherever you are, whoever you are with. We send peace to your ancestral line, whether you know who they are or not. We see a lantern of light and a dove of peace. The dove of peace flies above the heads of all the ancestors that have been. The lantern of light gets passed back through each generation, healing and illuminating and acknowledging what they went through, dissolving and transmuting that which is now past and no longer serves any further purpose. You see the lanterns and you see the bird going far, far back in time. You notice yourself in another incarnation from the past. You are in that line along with ancestors. Some of the faces of the ancestors are recognizable to you. Some are not. You also recognize that some of the ancestors are back in your life now, playing a different role. The lantern and the light gets passed between them all with respect, with reverence, with also a sense of gratitude and acknowledgement for their part in helping you become the person you are now. As the light reaches the back of the line, it starts to then be sent back forward to you. And you notice that as it passes from person to person, spirit to spirit, soul to soul, its light gets brighter and brighter and brighter until it arrives back with you, given by the person or soul that most recently left your family line. You may know them, you may not. The most recent departure from your ancestral line is the one that gives the light back to you. It is so strong. It contains all the love, all the knowledge, all the wisdom of all those beings from the past, including past versions of yourself. And it is a massive ball of light to help guide you and light your way going forward. You feel their strength and their support, and that they are willing you on. You take the light, and then you notice a pathway before you. The pathway before you is again lit with lanterns. A soft glow, peach undertones of light coming from all the lanterns that are laid out along the path in front of you, on two sides. You notice that the ones holding these lanterns along the path are elemental in spirit. They are made up of nature's sprites, fairies, gnomes, keepers of the forest, animals. Some of the lanterns also hanging from trees. The trees also helping with this cascade of light along the path. It's very ethereal. It's very soft. It's very beautiful. This has all been laid out for you. All been prepared for you, and you knew nothing of it. You are emotional and overcome with the gift that nature's elementals are bestowing on you now. Rabbits, dormice, flowers, trees, gnomes, fairies, elves, owls, frogs, you start walking the path. You nod to each of the beings that you passed, recognizing the soul energy in each animal, in each flower, in each tree, thanking them for the gift of their light that they hold. Beavers, badgers, moles, creatures coming up from the earth also. Just see what is going on. Excited. You move up this pathway. You have no fear. You have just a sense of joy and excitement in your life and in your heart as you walk this path. There is a gateway. It has been prepared. It is for the 1111 portal. It is wooden. It is simple. It is overhung with blossom, bracken, holly, ivy. There are acorns underneath your feet. There are leaves. There is soft, dappled light coming through the trees. But you see the gateway ahead. It's very humble. It's nothing special. But it is everything and more. You knock on the door of the gate as you approach it. It swings open. You walk through. You hear the sound of children's voices. You hear the bird song overhead. You see the night sky. You see the moon. You see the stars. You're given a light. Again, you're given another light, a bigger lantern than the one you were carrying. It has your name on it. It has no expiry date. It's for you to hold. You look back through the gateway and you see all of the animals happy that you've passed through into this next stage of your life, the next part of the garden. You see your ancestors cheering you on. You do not feel alone. You feel supported, you feel held, you feel loved. You are reminded that this world is a magical place. You realise that you have taken all parts of yourself through this gateway. Your wounds, your pains, feel lessened, soothed, acknowledged, not ignored or laughed at or pushed aside. You are accepted for who you are, where you are now, and all that you can be. You are embraced by Gaia, Mother Earth, nature, spirit. You see Metatron. He is laughing. He is full of laughter and joy. And he's clapping. And he's telling you, see, I told you you could do it. I told you it was worth it. Take this feeling, take this experience, take this knowing, take this vibration and this frequency into every part of your body, into every cell, every bone, every hair, every organ, every chakra, every layer of your aura. Magic, nature, light, joy, life, life, life. That life is good. That life is worth it. That you will see this through. That you will enjoy this time that you have on this planet. That you will see the beauty. That you will see with new eyes. All that is good. You will hold that light. You will hold that goodness. You will hold this frequency in the face of all darkness, in the face of all struggles, in the face of all problems. You will remember this frequency and this light. You are this. You are this. Metatron comes and he puts his left arm onto your back and he steers you forward and he says, come, come, let's get going. Let's do this. Sandalphon also appears. He puts his right arm on your back and he also beckons you forward. And he says, we will take one step at a time together. We will do this. Together, we will do this. 11, 11, 11. 3 11s. Make your wish now. Affirm now what it is that you are, what it is that you wish for. Do it now. Okay, the universe has heard. And with that, I'm going to ring the bells 11 times again. And we are going to just think of the energy of peace, perfect peace. And we are going to root that and ground that into who we are, into our part of the world. And we are going to send it out to the wider collective. Peace. You are the gateway, is what Metatron is saying. You are the gateway for others. How beautiful is that? Okay, well, I think we will just end with, what will we end with? I think I'm going to light some incense, actually. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just to bring in the energy of fire and air. And there goes the phone. And I'll take that energy of peace to whoever's ringing. Have a good 11/11, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I love you. Thank you. Please like and share the video so others can feel the energy that we just did. See you soon. Bye-bye.